I'm Carcina. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Whoa, the drama. As Joy Taylor had a house and car and an informer NBA basketball guy, Earl Watson, former coach, player, Phoenix Suns, she had the life. She was living it up. Then things started to come to light. This lawsuit pops out of nowhere. And now it's sex on the job, employees, the whole nine. I was about to leave here, but I said, well, since this came in, I might as well do this right quick. And I'll dip up out of here. So I will try not to keep this long. All right. I will try not to keep this long. I got people expecting me. Now, I just got through listening to my man right here, Marcellus Wiley. And it was very shocking to me because Marcellus Wiley said some things that surprised me when it came to this Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor situation. In case you don't remember or you didn't know, Speak for Yourself was a show when it was Sports Nation. It was all of those guys. You know, it was Whitlock. It was, all of these guys together. So for the first time ever, and I do mean the first time ever, they were around each other and was able to share the light. Him and Whitlock clicked up and said, oh, this is the time. Because Sports Nation at that time, or what was called Speak for Yourself, and when it became Speak for Yourself, whatever, when they were running it, there was There was a lot of things in development that most of you weren't privy to. Now, let's go into further detail as to what's going on. Sorry about these messages that's coming through, but this is very important because he said something on the show with him and Whitlock that stood out to me. And I had to go over what the notes I have and the people I've talked to. And I remember what was going on at that said time because Joy Taylor and what she was attempting to do, because she a lot of people don't know, she didn't start off on Undisputed. Okay, that was her first time having a consistent job. She was a fill-in at Fox when she first got there. So according to the lawsuit, when she's talking about when she came out there for a meeting and when she first started doing her hair, she had just got to California. Her husband and everything else about Joy was in Florida at that time. So when they were making the transition, mostly her, transitioning to work in California for Fox's show. Now, here's the thing. Once this took place and they got the show off the ground and they decided Undisputed was going to be that, the lady was telling the truth about the meeting, whatever, with the showrunner at that time, Charlie Dixon. Now, Charlie Dixon's situation, she claimed that it was more romantic than whatever. She saw him on multiple occasions, coming like in her elevator in her complex, whatever, right? Let's deal with what we know. Joy's first time on television on Fox, Christine Lay was going on a vacation for like 2 days or whatever. Joy filled in on the Herd. That was her first time on television. That was on Fox Sports 1, and that was March the 17th in 2016. So that was her first time on television for Fox. Now, I say that to say this. She didn't just walk onto that show, okay? She has spent 5 years on Miami radio at 790 The Ticket. And she was also the show producer and worked her way up to eventually becoming a co-host for the top-rated morning drive program called The Ticket Morning Show. Now, I'm not going to go into what the new shocking rumor is yet. That stuff is for the Patreon. And I will put that, but it has a lot to do with what happened at Miami Radio before she even got to Fox. That's going to be on the Patreon. Now, for this, let's focus on after she goes from Undisputed and she's on the Herd now. And in this lawsuit, there's powerful mention. Yes, he is Nigerian. There's a powerful mention that, Acho is one of those black Nigerians that think they're just smarter than everybody else in the room. That's him. Now, here's the situation. I'm listening to Whitlock's take on this, and he's breaking it down. And then I start listening to, yes, AM radio. She was on there. And then I start listening to Marcellus Wiley, and they were on two sides of the track of what they didn't know. So he reached out to them, and then they spoke, right? So when they spoke, it came out like this.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. From my position, because it's 24 hours since I truly digested this, and people have reached out. Let me just be real about that. People are coming at me from a lot of different directions, including legally saying, Marcellus, take another look at what you went through. And I'm trying to take that look right now because I know of the influences that were around me. I know what they offered me. And when I say offer, I'm being loose with this because as you look back on it, you start to realize the first thing they said to me is, we're not doing that show again, and we're not doing it with you. So now we want to do something with you. What can that be? But that right there in itself became a tornado of nothing. Like we just went around in a bunch of circles to the point where I said, you know what, it's time for me to bet on myself because it feels like I'm getting a runaround here. Yeah, you know, once I know, I'm gonna let you know. I'm not the type to hide behind it. But yeah, lawyers are reaching out to me because when they saw me get surprised by the allegations, especially the one about Charlie Dixon, they said that is actionable. And now I'm trying to make sure that everything that I went through and everything that I read in that article is actually true. Because the last thing I want to do, look, I've been 2 years removed from it. I didn't try to burn down Emmanuel Acho knowing that he was plotting. Joy Taylor, I still see her all the time. I wasn't trying to burn her down, even though I knew she was plotting. To me, that's just like going to coach after the game, say, hey, you know, if you give me the ball, I get more yards. But when you bring it from another perspective, that coach is actually doing something on the side, and that's influencing his decision more than just the production, just the numbers, that's a different conversation.
Now, so he's alluding to now that there can take some action and that they tried to get me removed. And lawyers are calling him saying, hey, that's actionable. Here's the problem. It's not actionable. And I'm going to explain that to you, Marcellus Wiley, if you're listening. Here's what happened, good people. The meeting that this lady talks about that happened in February of 2020, right? In February of 2020, there was a meeting. Now, the reason why this meeting happened, it was right after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl had just went down. Kobe Bryant had just passed away. So they were still reeling from the Kobe Bryant incident. And there was a meeting that they were having at Beverly Hills that just got back from like Miami. I think the Super Bowl was in Miami and they were on location. So they were out doing they had all the shows really doing their sets out there and everything. So they didn't have a chance to talk and get back. Now at this time, Whitlock and Wiley are doing the show together. Those two are together doing the show, Speak for Yourself. Okay? Now that we know that, now we got to go through the rest of it because there's a lot here to unfold. There's a large presence of that what people don't seem to get and understand. There was hirings, people were put in charge that most people just didn't know or didn't understand or whatever. And Marcellus Wiley's actions here surprised me because it's like he's saying they forced me out. And it's because he was sleeping with her that I'm out of a job. Like they pushed me out so that he can get his girl in there. And it's because she was sleeping with the boss. And that's not a reason that you weren't on the show. Neither one of you. Let's start with Whitlock. Well, that's why people come here, because you're going to get the information. Let's start with Whitlock. Jason Whitlock's contract was up, and he was up for an extension for 2 more years. People hated Whitlock, but he had a lot of attention and a lot of ratings for the stupid things that he says. So Eric Shanks was somebody who was pretty much dealing with all the fires that was happening around Jason Whitlock. And everything was like looking like he was going to come back to Speak for Yourself, and there was going to be no problems. Now, Joy Taylor has this meeting in February. Like, I don't know what date in February it was, but it was in February of 2020 when she met with Emmanuel Acho, and they're meeting with Charlie Dixon, and the lady is in her lawsuit is saying that they wanted to do a show called Speak for Yourself. Let me enlighten you guys on what they really was talking about. The word around the campfire to me is like they weren't talking about Speak for Yourself. They were talking about doing another show, a his and hers type of show, where one, Emmanuel Acho, doing the show with Joy Taylor, and they wanted to make a his and hers like Jamel Hill and Michael Smith. They wanted to bring that show to Fox, and they felt they were the ones that could pull that off. They was like, oh, we could do that, me and Joy. Like, we'll both co-host the show, it'll be cool. And that's the show they were talking about bringing forth. So the lawsuit, the letter she put, Speak for Yourself and all that, I think she just put that down, to be honest. I don't think she understood what was going on. As it was informed to me, that was what the conversation was about with Charlie Dixon. It wasn't about, well, we got to take him out. He can't be here anymore. That was never the case, because the network had every intentions of keeping that said show and programming. They were just going to make some changes. They hired a new guy to come in shortly after that. The very next year, he got promoted. I think his name is Brian or something. I can't remember his name, but I think he got promoted the year after. But that's neither here nor there. What was the facts is that had nothing to do with Whitlock in your situation. Jason Whitlock, they had every intentions of bringing him back. Everything was looking good. Charlie Dixon, they was like, oh, everything's fine. The pandemic hits. Just less than about 2-3 weeks later, the pandemic hits the world in March of 2020. That kills Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor's dream of having their show called His and Hers. Now, everything is stopped. The whole world is shut down. The negotiations and contracts for Jason Whitlock has now changed. He made comments on social media and Twitter about pandemics and things, and that was very controversial on Twitter. Eric Shanks has had enough. He really didn't want Whitlock back. So the situation came down to, okay, Jason, you've done all this stuff. You want to come back. Here's how we're going to come back. This is how we're going to do it. You can come back and we'll give you a 2-year extension, but you're not going to get any extra money. You're going to get the same money you got before. Now, that was never discussed in earlier negotiations because they know he's not going to accept that. And they were like, that's our only and final offer. Take it or leave it. Which means, bye, Jason Whitlock. We don't want you here no more. We're tired of putting out fires. We had a pandemic lockdown. You know, we had to shut the place down for a minute. You know, everybody else was staying up. It was a mess. A lot of people have worked with their women in the workplace or the girl they sleeping with. We've seen that happen plenty of times. But now, that's what happened with Whitlock. Whitlock decided, all right, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go bet on myself. I got other deals I can get better than that. So Jason Whitlock is gone. All right. Now, this is back during the pandemic. Remember, I told y'all the meeting that the lady said that took place with Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor and Charlie, that would happen in February of 2020 in the lawsuit. The pandemic hit in March, the very next month. Then Speak for Yourself came back with a two-man job. Marcellus Wiley and Emmanuel Acho. So this meeting happened in 2020, and they weren't plotting to take Marcellus Wiley's job. That was not the case. So on June 24th of 2020, the new co-host was Emmanuel Acho. They put him on Speak for Yourself to be a co-host right there with Marcellus Wiley to see how this new dynamic works. All right. They got rid of Whitlock and the show was going good. Now, here's where your problem kicks in at. Has nothing to do with Joy Taylor. Joy wasn't plotting for your job, Marcellus Wiley. Going through this process, Emmanuel Acho was getting all of these accolades and everybody was looking up to him because he said the right things. But Emmanuel Acho did not want to work with Marcellus Wiley anymore because Marcellus was basically sunning him on the show. And every time he feel like he's making momentum, and they were having good shows. Show was going great. They never really had a problem. But Emmanuel Acho did not want to work with Marcellus Wiley anymore because he's looking at social media. He's looking at the perceptions. He wants to go further. He wants to see, well, how can we make this show better? How can we go to this next level and do this and that? And Marcellus is just like, whatever. And he just didn't like that energy. He really felt like he was stuck. And like, this is the limit or his capability of what he can do. And he won't even expand or even say, let's try to do some new young type stuff. He'll just shut it down and be like, nah, I'm not doing that. And that was the demeanor that he got from Marcellus Wiley. Plus, it was making Emmanuel Acho look like the uppity black guy, while Marcellus Wiley was looking like the black guy black people could relate to. And he was looking like the suburbanized black guy on there. No matter what the take is, it was, yeah, man, Acho in that suit. He always got a suit on. Yeah, Marcellus is the guy. So Marcellus Wiley, he's keeping it real. It made Emmanuel Acho feel less. He's somebody that looks at the social media tweets and really feel a certain way about it. And he was pushing for a change. That was the person that wanted the change to happen. Now, here's the thing. Once it came around to the shakeup, they're doing a shakeup here. And Marcellus Wiley, his situation came up with the contracts and the deals. And they were saying, well, Emmanuel Acho wants to, they're going to change the show around. And he didn't want to do it. That's why I'm like, how are you talking about it's actionable? Where is it actionable when you were never fired? How you going to go after somebody and say they forced me out of a show when you were never fired? I'm confused. That's what I'm saying. Marcellus Wiley has to explain this to me because it does not make sense. You were never fired. Never.
It's just a tweet. It's just something that hit my radar that I want to address because I think there are deeper issues than just what we're kind of stuff. I got more followers and all that. I don't care about that. But I don't want to give the guy attention, especially if he's going to benefit from him when I don't agree with him. Now, I don't dislike dude. I can lose. It's a me. And if you're going to talk shit about somebody, names and numbers, little, 240 characters or whatever, I'm done. So if you beef with me on Twitter, I might hit you with one line, but if it's something for real, something that's deep, I got to talk it out. So here's to this one. All right. Let's just clarify before I go out there and identify, and then I'm about to annihilate. The first thing is, I keep telling y'all, I guess you know, you can't tell a fool nothing. I didn't get fired. It's okay. I mean, I get it. Like when you're not at your job or your boy ain't at his job, it ain't because he just quit to start an enterprise, right? He got fired. I didn't get fired. I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to say it simply. Fox wanted me to do a different show. They wanted me to do 2 different shows. They certainly didn't want me to do Speak, and they didn't have any fight from me because I didn't want to do Speak. And that's no slight to them. That's just something I didn't want to do.
So, again, how did we go from that to now we finna remix it to they forced me out? They ran me out. The lawyers are calling me. They saying this is actionable. How is it actionable when you didn't want to do it? You've already stated they gave you other shows. You didn't want to do Speak. He didn't want to do it. He said they told him we're changing the show to make it more light. He don't want to do more light. So that's it. He was gone. But I will let you listen to him tell it to you more than myself, because when he tells it to you, you guys can understand it better. It's coming right from the horse's mouth. So he's saying 2 different things now. Well, no, nah. You can't do that. That's how they get you to leave. That's how they got Whitlock to leave. Yes. But they definitely did him like that, saying we're giving you the same extension, same amount of money. Take it or leave it. That's getting you out the door. They didn't try to get him out the door. They said, hey, actually, let's let him talk.
Y'all see what that is now? That's 4 people getting it in. That's not what I want to do. Simple as that. Not with those 4 people doing that show. It's not a slight. They told me what they were thinking. They told me it was going to be different. They told me it was going to be lighter. They talked to me through it. I was out. Then they offered me another show. I've said this before, but let me say it on my own, because I've been saying it all around other people's podcasts and cross promotion. And I really was close to taking the First Things First job. Really close. I thought I was going to have to sacrifice too much with my family, frankly. I thought the family dynamic was the toughest part. And I talked to all those guys over there, and they're all good dudes and my homies. And, you know, that's an older show, and I really like that part. And they have grown conversations. I really like that. And it's a higher rated show. So it was a promotion. But it wasn't a promotion to me, because I was like, yo, I'm in LA. If that show comes to LA, let's talk.
Now, as you can see, he was offered First Things First, which was their next biggest show, which is a promotion. It had been Nick Wright, Marcellus Wiley, and another person, whoever they put on the show. No, he ruined his own lawsuit. He ruined his own lawsuit, not me. Ernestine is always on his show. He brought Ernestine on his show yesterday. He always brings her. She was there last week. Yeah, she's his podcast host. But this is what I'll be talking about all the time. And people just don't get it. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna. That's what he's doing. Really, he's really reeling this in. Like we reeling it in right now. They're reeling it in. But to do first things first, that show is in New York. That's in the New York studios. So they would have to go all the way out to New York to do the show. Where all of these other shows are in California. Now he was like, why don't they just move that show out to California? Why is that in New York? So Nick Wright is from New York. He lives in New York. He's New York. Everything there is New York. So that show is there. Skip and Bayless and everything else was in Cali. So the California shows, they had all that laid up in the same studio. Colin Cowherd, The Herd, all those other shows are on the set. Now, first things first used to kick everything else right. No. It's not about where he's from. I mean, where he's living. Okay. He lives in New York. I already know he's from Kansas City because he's Mahomes. You know, we know that. We're saying where he's at currently and where Marcellus Wiley is at currently. He's in California. So he would have to sacrifice too much to go there. So now he can't do that show. But we'll let him continue to talk. Because once again, it's how you gonna sue when all of this is on you.
But it did.
You say it.
That's it. Don't want to go too deep into that. Let's get back to this tweet. So they wanted me also to do another show, and I didn't want to do that show. But then I was like, then again, I do. And it was like, you know, a football show. And I was like, ooh, if I could talk it my way, I'll do it, you know, because I don't like third and go. People know me, like all the producers over there. I used to always say, I do not want to do NFL Live segments. And I started my career doing NFL Live. I was like, nah, I don't care about third and goal. I care about people. I care about players. I care about what they're going through. I don't care about what they're thinking. I'm caring about like the stuff the fans don't really know about. So we got down the tracks with that one, but it didn't work out. So that's two shows on the payroll throughout this entire process when I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired, but I'm getting paid. So whatever. Just got to clarify that. Okay. But that ain't what I'm really about. That's not why are we talking about this tweet.
Now, he went from that to this is actionable. How is it actionable? Who says the executive producer can't sleep with the talent? Did he promote somebody to take your job? No. Joy Taylor didn't take your job. There were 4 other spots. There was 3 other spots there. You didn't want to do the show. They told you the direction. You like, I'm not feeling that. They said, all right, well, we got first things first. I'm not feeling that. Well, I like it, but it got to come to California and I'm down. If not, I can't do it. But man, that money is good. It's a promotion. So it's not, they didn't want to get rid of Marcellus Wiley at all. So nobody was trying to remove him. He just wasn't with the program of what they wanted to do. Oh, Acho already had the job. He was the co-host of the job. Marcellus Wiley could have stayed had he wanted to, if he was willing to play ball. He didn't want to play ball. I understand that. If you're not comfortable with it for the money or whatever, walk away. See, Marcellus Wiley is a lot built like me mentally with making some decisions, but to say this was actionable, if it's true, it's not. Let's say Charlie is knocking the dust off of it every night. Charlie going to work. Charlie going to town. Acho, it's your turn. All right. Acho getting it in. Everybody getting it in with the chick. Right? How does that hurt you when you said, I didn't want to do the show? There is no lawsuit. You didn't want to do the show. You got paid out the rest of your contract. And they told you, if you got an idea for a show, or if we get another show, call us up or whatever, and we'll help you, you can get back on another show. They've told him this, even when he was gone. He didn't want to come back to that. He felt blindsided by the direction that Emmanuel Acho didn't share with him, that he wanted to not do the show. What Marcellus Wiley didn't understand is that Emmanuel Acho never chose to do your show. He never chose that show. That wasn't his idea. That was Fox's idea after the pandemic to make him the co-host there, because the project that he was thinking about for the show was to mimic basically Jamel Hill and Michael Smith's show, the His and Hers, with him and Joy, going over current things in social media and sports and entertainment. They were going to just mirror that show since it had imploded on ESPN because they didn't know what they were doing. They said, oh, we could take that show and make it right here with me and Joy. So that's what they were trying to do. For the people that didn't understand, they weren't trying to do Speak for Yourself. That wasn't it. They put him as a co-host months later after the pandemic hit. They said, you know what? No, you're going to be the co-host. We're going to shake it up. Whitlock's out of here. Whitlock's gone. You the new co-host. That's it. Cut and dry. So for 2 years, that's what it was. So maybe Marcellus Wiley didn't know that part or that element of it, that Emmanuel Acho never wanted to do that show anyway like that. But he's like, okay, cool. I got a show. I'm the co-host of it. Let's go. Let's make it work. And that's what he did. That was the dynamic they chose to go through. But changes happen in the industry a lot. And Brad Zager, that's his name. Brad Zager got promoted. And once he got promoted to like executive producer, and he was like the head of productions of operations, and he mostly didn't, he was coming in with the young talent. That was his thing, but he was looking more into the actual sports side of it, not the shows. And Emmanuel Acho and guys like that, these young faces, he was more into that. So Brad Zager or whatever his name is, was his role to do that. But he mostly dealt with like the NFL show, sports show, football here. So Brad Zager or whatever, he was mostly involved in that. And he was a guy that didn't care too much for Whitlock. It's like a lot of these guys, and they came up into power the very next year. Whitlock was already gone, but he was never coming back to Fox. He was done. So, yeah, well, it's good. He bet on himself. He said, look, I can get my money on the internet. Okay. that people don't come to make him unemployed. They're not going to unemploy him because he's the doggone dog. He is definitely Stephen from Django Unchained. You know, that's Stephen A, man. That's what he's going to do. He lives to please the masses. Look, that's it. He's on the plantation right there. He is happy to be there. He don't want to leave the plantation. He's just now starting to do what we suggested he should do a long time ago. He don't want to leave the plantation. That man is happier than a sissy with a bag of dicks. He do not want to go nowhere. He love it there. And they love him there. Bob Iger, all those guys, they love him right where he's at. He gonna go out there and man the plantation for his bosses and continue to please Massa. We 6 Massa? And he gonna keep fetching them more. Go out there and fetch us more, Stephen. And then when he asks for more money, oh, they punish him for that. Now you're getting a little too big for your britches now, Stephen. You're getting greedy. So, all right, we don't give you more money. But you're going to have to do more work. Nobody had to do more work. Skip Bayless made more money than Stephen A. Smith, and he never had to do anything. All Skip had to do was undisputed. Stephen A. Smith had to do SportsCenter 1, SportsCenter ESPN 1, 2, ESPN Deportes, UFC. That boy couldn't get no damn sleep. He couldn't get a break. Stephen A. Smith couldn't get no sleep. That boy was out there every day smiling and he don't even talk anymore. He don't even make sense. Everything they talk about is so redundant. This dude sit over there. Yeah. He not even talking. I'm like, they didn't just gave up on talking on this. All right, so Stephen A. Smith is trying to tell everybody that's the key to success. Just be a monkey. He gonna stay in his position no matter what. But now he realized when Pat McAfee came over there and got more money than him, what did he do? He cried like a baby, didn't he? He cried like a little baby, and we the one told him it was gonna happen. And what happened? He started a war with Pat McAfee. Jealous of Pat McAfee. They put Pat McAfee on his so-called show. It's your show, but did you tell him Pat McAfee to come on the show? No, they said Pat McAfee finna come on Wednesday. But you the executive producer. Pat McAfee don't have to do no other shows. He ain't got to do SportsCenter. He ain't got to do any of it. We told you this was gonna happen. Kwame Brown told you it was gonna happen. But you thought, no, I know too much. No, you don't. You really think they care. And they came in and he got all that money. They offered you millions less than Pat McAfee. And you got to do more work. All the years of service. Oh, poor Stephen. We tried to tell you. You wouldn't listen. You're an asset, but they treat you like you're expendable. But now you feel they need me because without me, Shannon Sharpe will leave. No, Shannon Sharpe was signed by them, not you. Shannon Sharpe brings in what you do by himself. Shannon Sharpe is so large right now, they only let him come in for like 2 days of work. Because if Shannon was there for 5 days, they would have to pay him substantially for what he generates in ratings. Now he's making a mountain load of money. So nothing you can do about it. Pat McAfee just came over there and did what he wanted to do. Norby Williamson, the guy who but y'all got to kiss all the time. What happened there, Stephen? Norby Williamson got everybody scared to death over there because what he say go. But not Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee did what we said you should have done a long time ago, Stephen Fletcher. He built his own show, built it up, made it so valuable that ESPN wanted to partner with him. So he's not a part of you. Bob Iger, he responds to them. He don't have to respond to the brass of ESPN, all of them Norby Williams. Those are not his bosses. Pat McAfee brings in ratings with his show. That's why he's there. That's why you were offered less. That's when you said, oh, I got to step it up. I got to build up my show. Yeah, now you want to build up your show and you try to mimic Kwame Brown. You try to talk about any subject Kwame Brown talking about. You trying to do anything he does because you are not creative. You and Gilbert Arenas, y'all just mimics. They were like, but we getting the money though. Okay, you getting the money for now, but what have you created that you gonna pass on? That you gonna pass on? Nothing. You got nothing that you gonna pass on to anybody else. Your children are not gonna eat no ESPN contract. You don't own no ESPN stock. None of it. No ESPN stock. No ESPN anything. None of it. You got nada. Oh, but they gonna send it to him. He got $1 million, but he bought it. He paid $1 million+ just for the studio. So you're spending millions of dollars to build this channel up because you're hoping ESPN buys into it. You want ESPN to buy the Stephen A. Smith show. You're thinking small yet again. You're buying your ratings on YouTube. You're buying all the attention. You're spending all of this money, but you haven't recouped any. Because all the little money you would make on YouTube, you got to pay that out to your staff, to everybody else. So you still spending money out of your pocket to try to create a platform that you can get a sponsor for, that they can say, we can advertise here. I know how it works, son. So yes, I'm always aware of what's happening there in this system with these minions. So let's go back to Joy Taylor. Now, let's say Joy did sleep her way to the top. So, what is her crime? She hasn't done anything in this lawsuit. I read the lawsuit twice. No, ESPN made him drop the radio show. Well, make him bring his show to ESPN. He had a show on like Fox or something. It's a Fox radio show or something. Then he had to bring it over. Now, Joy Taylor, if she did sleep with this guy and did get an opportunity or whatever, you still got to do the work. Still got to do the work. They can get you through the door. That's like somebody gets you hired for a job, right? Everybody in their job then got hired because somebody then hooked them up. You know how many people got jobs because somebody hooked them up? Somebody, you still got to do the work. Nobody gonna do the work for you. Now, her sleeping with Emmanuel, Acho, and that could have got her the job. She already had a job on the herd. So if she didn't get that job, she still was on the herd with Colin Cowherd. So she still is making money. So my thing is, it's like, where are we going with this? He's attacking Jason Whitlock to boost his channel. That's why he wants to attack Whitlock. He's attacking Whitlock because Whitlock knows the truth about him and is exploiting it on a major platform. And the fact that he actually worked with Stephen A. Smith is the reason Stephen A. Smith feels the way he did. Stephen A. Smith has never backed up or never ever answered any of the questions. Explain your basketball career. Explain your journalistic career. Doesn't exist. All these things that you talked about don't exist. I showed him the thing about Coach Gaines, and this is my problem with Whitlock. Kwame Brown was like, man, y'all need to talk. Y'all need to get cool. I said, all right, man, I'll talk to the dude. So I said, I'll try to be the olive branch and all that. You know, I don't like this dude. I sent him the information to Stephen A. Smith. This dude goes on his show, does the show, and act like the information came from him. I said, all right, that's it. I can't deal with him. I can't. I tried. Yeah, well, Stephen A. Smith don't get along with a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of people that he didn't rock with. And he definitely don't rock with Jalen Rose. They fell out, and Jalen Rose thinks of him as a corny dude now. And now he sees him as the phony he really is. Yeah, you know, and that was the thing. Now, he's still a bit of a hack. You know, he comes off more as a hack than anything else, you know. So when you start seeing people go and take that road, you know what time it is. Oh, well, Joy Taylor did all of these things, as far as building her career up. So she was always in that mode of it. So, but in today, you don't even need evidence. So, who knows? Marcellus Wiley could sue and still probably get that doggone. He could probably go ahead and get a lawsuit and everything. Look at what they're doing with Jay-Z. No evidence, and they can just throw his name all over everything. A lot of people don't like Emmanuel Acho because he's ambitious and he comes off as I know it all. It could be his first day on the job, and he'd say, "Oh, I know." Right. We know a lot of them, don't we? First day on the job, and they gonna tell you what's what. Yeah, there's a lot of them. You don't need evidence in a civil suit. You ain't kidding. They don't like evidence in civil suits. Oh yes, Joshua. It's a lot of truth to a lot of it, I believe. In my opinion, yes, it's a lot of truth. But a lot of things are misconstrued. A lot of things are based around the truth, and I believe things are added to it. Because remember, this is not just being told by a woman. In her case, these lawyers are talking too. So things are put in a legal perspective when you see this filed. So she'll tell her side of it, and then they put it in legal terms. I got my coat on because I'm about to leave, and I like to air my house out and get natural, cool air in here. So I'm right by the window, and I got the window cracked open. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well, the whole lawsuit and the no, man. They're not going to respond. There's no need for them to respond. If my thing is that I'm surprised they didn't put out a statement, like Fox, period. Like, no, you know how Fox do.
Giannis and Drew was there long enough for history shows us that it's quite literally the homegrown development that wins championships, not necessarily the acquisition. The Lakers? Warriors, I think, again. Warriors. Oh, Raptors. No, Raptors.
Now you see now, you done fucked up,
Recent history shows us that it's quite literally the homegrown development that wins championships, not necessarily the acquisition. The Lakers? Warriors, I think, again. Warriors. Oh, Raptors. No, Raptors.
Now you see now, You done fucked up. You know that, don't you?
3 months ago, I said that homegrown wins.
Yeah.
Because Middleton, Giannis, obviously Middleton wasn't drafted there, but Middleton, Giannis, and Drew was there long enough for me to consider that.
None of us are homegrown.
Drew kind of came there.
Only
Yeah.
Giannis is homegrown.
But by homegrown, I don't mean necessarily drafted.
You know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
Yes, years played together. Years played together.
You know you done fucked up, don't you?
But I mean, Denver's not completely homegrown.
The two mains, when you talk about Jokic and you talk about Murray,
Yeah, but
years played together.
There were the contributors from all the rest of the roster
Agreed.
were not.
You know you done fucked up.
Oh man. So as you can see, Acho likes to talk even when he knows he's losing or lost the argument. You know, he likes to win no matter what. Oh yeah. Oh well, everybody's been attacking Joy. Like everywhere. Like she's getting passed around. Like I'm serious. She's the new hot tour girl, whatever.
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
What's one move in bed that makes
So they making her the new hot tour girl, like they are running her name through the
Can we just
the allegations that Joy Taylor.
Peep this.
Well, it looks like Miss Joy Taylor isn't having such a joy time anymore after being named in a lawsuit for allegedly sleeping with the executive boss and some of her coworkers. She is under a lot of fire and she isn't Miss Perfect as we all thought she was. It's all going down and she is going down with the ship. FS1 is a dumpster fire and Skip Bayless is part of the whole situation because he was asking one of his co-workers to sleep with him for $1.5 million and she refused. So she's suing everybody now. Well, it looks
Wemby waits for us to fly by.
Peep this. Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on a show. Approximately February 2020, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho. Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. Ms. Faraji became alarmed and warned Ms. Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time. Damn, she was double dicking? Interesting. As Mr. Dixon is a very, very powerful man that may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she will follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her.
The allegations that.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't kid, because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
What's one move in bed that makes a
Can we just keep it?
Oh my God, that ain't gonna age well at all. That ain't aging well at all. Taylor, gang. Oh, Taylor. Oh, gang. Oh, Taylor, gang. Oh, Taylor, gang. Here's what they think of us nice guys. Well, thanks, nice guys, for not super chatting, for not hitting up the Cash App, which is Carcino. So now I got to go. I was going to stay here and kick it with y'all, but now I got to roll. Oh, man. Joy just submitted. She said 304. Oh, man. We got on the Patreon, we got some secret audio that y'all never heard. We talked about Angela Simmons today. Y'all, we was talking about all of them. They all getting it now. If Joy got to get it, they all getting it. And shouts out to Charlie Dixon, man. If he did do this, if this thing is 100%, he said, yeah, I heard it. I know, she trying to get that audio down. This is perfect. Because if Charlie really did pull this off, man, props to Charlie, man. Hey, Charlie. Way to go, Charlie. But my thing is, where's the crime? She was the one going. All right, I have no problems with Joy Taylor. I don't like a lot of her takes. I don't really like, but I ain't got no problem with Joy Taylor. I ain't got no problem with Joy Taylor sleeping with them people that do get what she want to get. Hey, I never thought I would live to see the day Joy is trending news. She's not interested. Cease and desist is on the way. That Shannon Sharp, Joy Taylor thing had me cracking up. That thing was cracking me up. They played.
Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Yeah, we co-host, but this is your show. So I owe you a little gratitude. But Joy better not ask me. I mean, Joy, my girl, but Joy better not ask me when I'm coming back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me and Joy cool, but we go, you know. Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Yeah, we co-host, but this is your show. So I owe you a little gratitude. But Joy better not ask me. I mean, Joy, my girl, but Joy better not ask me when I'm coming back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me and Joy cool, but we go, you know.
Oh my God. Joy was like, what?
Were you there the first time Shannon pulls out a goat mask on TV?
I think it was yes, because we actually ended up bringing in an actual goat into studio one time, so it had to have been after the goat mask. Because he was wearing the jersey the first time.
Because he's so like
he's worn it so many times I've lost track. But I think the first time he had a jersey on.
Yeah, and then he had the goat mask.
And then he had the goat mask. Yes, and then he because.
I saw it earlier. Now I don't see it anymore. That's crazy. I wonder what Earl think about all this. Oh, here it is. I got it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, here comes your boyfriend. Your man has showed up to work. She's like, my man here now.
No, he's not talking about no shoes. I know Emmanuel Acho is not talking about shoes today.
I'm just glad she has a manicure.
Well, pedicure.
I'm just glad, America, that she has a manicure. She got the Air Moses on.
These are the Air Moses.
She got the Air Moses, boy. She got the fallen Silas 15. Boy.
Remember this toes out moment? Nobody had their toes out more than Emmanuel Acho. So we're going to revisit.
Oh, buddy. So, on that note, shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Live. Welcome to HDIITV Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. The Patreon is Carcino for Life. Go check it out. It's already been updated. I gotta fly. I'm already late by an hour.